How did you get started on that?
I got started by reading popularisations of science, and I could see that certain problems which the physicists were stuck upon were problems which could be solved by my own discipline, using my own knowledge. And so I started to work on these problems. And one of the difficulties then emerged that gravitational theory didn't fit in with physics. There were two theories, quantum theory and gravitation, and the two didn't match. I found out that I could produce an entirely different approach in which the gravitational theory not only fitted in with quantum theory, the theory of the atom, it actually enhanced the quantum theory. But out of this came survival as a natural thing, and also an explanation for paranormal phenomena. The whole thing integrated itself together.
Can I just ask you how these theories fit in with survival after death? This is what we're discussing today.
Yes. What it shows is that there's a structure of space which previously was called the ether. Now the ether was discredited, and I'll tell you what the ether is. The ether was conceived even before Newton's time as an all-permeating substance which went right through the universe. It connected the planets together, the planets to the sun, and then it connected the atoms together, and then the parts of the atoms are interconnected by this all-permeating medium which was called the ether. Unfortunately, Einstein's theories of relativity were quite incompatible with the existence of an ether, and so it was discredited. Nowadays scientists don't talk about the ether at all, otherwise they discredit themselves, because the ether no longer exists according to modern physics. Now I have to go back and say the ether does in fact exist. It's the major part of the universe. Even inside an atom, the ether is the most important part. What we see as observable matter is only a tiny tip of the iceberg.
Now, the ether used to be, I can remember when I was a boy, the ether was something that was talked about a lot. People referred to the ether, and it hasn't been in modern usage for quite a long time. It's not in common parlance at the moment, the ether. You're bringing it back.
Yes.
Can I ask you, Ron, where this ether, again I ask this question, you've lost me slightly on the physics there, but no doubt a lot of people will understand. But what I really am interested in today is where this ether fits in to the survival theory that Michael was, or rather the fact in the way that Michael was talking about.
It fits in beautifully.
How do these two worlds interrelate because there's an ether there? That's what we're interested in.
It fits in beautifully because what it shows is that this structure I'm speaking about, this filamentous structure, is very similar to the neural network of the human brain, only it's on a very much finer scale, even though it pervades the entire universe. So it has the potential to become intelligent. It also has the potential to become conscious. As soon as consciousness arose, then what I am saying is that the consciousness decided to create a matter system for its own ends, and it used the waves which it spontaneously generates to create a matter system. It does so by causing waves to implode from all directions and produce a little spike in the ether. This is a subatomic particle, and the whole thing is organised by waves. Now this is very interesting because in quantum theory, particles, subatomic particles, the bits of the atom, sometimes behave as if they're particles, in other words little tiny point masses, and sometimes they appear as waves spread out over a big area. And to this day, quantum physicists cannot explain how this can be. Explanations are given, I grant, but they're all nonsensical arguments, in my view. In fact, the physicists themselves say you cannot use common sense in the quantum domain. I'm saying that this new theory brings common sense back into play and shows that waves make the particles and sort this problem out. So this consciousness in the ether then deliberately designed the matter system so that life could exist of the kind we know. The matter system had to be capable of producing the chemistry, the involved chemistry on which life depends. It all had to be very carefully organised.
Almost like the beginning of evolution, as it were, in that way.
Yes. What I'm saying is that a Darwinian kind of evolution took place not at first in the matter at all, but in the ether of space. Before matter ever existed, an evolution occurred, produced a consciousness. Then this consciousness deliberately divided itself into small pieces and then placed it in a matter system which it had created to give it a different kind of experience. It produced an environment for itself to live in.
Ah, yes, yes, that I can understand. And also the ability then on the physical death of the body, that part that's connected to the ether, if you like, would return. Am I right in saying that?
It wouldn't return, it would just be there all the time. What's happened is that the matter system has disappeared. The matter system, the atoms of the brain and the body, that's been taken away and simply leaves the mind where it was before. It hasn't really gone anywhere at all.
But people's experiences of, we can only learn this through mediumship, and perhaps Michael knows more, has spoken to people that have experienced the materializations, or maybe have conversed with people that have come back from the other side. But they come back from the other side, or through the veil, if you like, and talk of another world there, of a life that they live, in the afterlife, if you like, or in another dimension, or maybe, in your words, in the ether. Why is it that one gets the impression of a structured world, of another world, if when the physical body dies, as you say, the matter system that you refer to, and the mind remains after the matter system has degraded, does that move into another dimension? Does it go into a new vibration? Or is it experiencing another universe within the physical? That yes. I'm not clear on.
I can explain. I had oversimplified things slightly by saying when the matter system disappears, becomes defunct, that the mind is left as part of the structure of the ether. I was oversimplifying, because just as our own matter system can be created, other systems of matter, which are either like our own or unlike our own, but like our own in that they're made from subatomic particles, they can be made as well, provided they are not tuned to the same matter frequencies as ours is. Then we shan't be able to relate to them. But they can interpenetrate our own without our knowledge, simply because our matter system isn't solid. It looks solid only because our atoms can't interpenetrate each other.
I was trying to really simplify the thing as much as possible for the sake of this program, to think in a different dimension, i.e. passing from one to another. That's all, you know, one is stuck with the idea at the moment that one passes out of the body and into, or through a veil and into another world. That's as much as I understand of passing over, if you like.
Yes, well, that's what I'm saying as well. But I'm saying we don't move into another dimension. You're using the same dimensions, but the particles interpenetrate each other. So it's like, to use one of Michael's expressions, very good simile, if you are tuned into BBC One on the television, you can't see BBC Two.
Right.
But the radio waves which are coming in from the stations are still there, in the same space, but you're not tuned into them. And so you can tune in to, say, the Earth matter system by being alive in this world, discard